Hi friends, welcome back. It's been a while since I've done a video. This video today is actually going to give you a little peek into my life and what's been going on the past 4 or 5-ish months. There's happiness and sadness. So this video is going to have like bits and pieces from a timeline of quite a few months, just so you can kind of see the real and the raw of what I was experiencing for that time. Not much more to say other than we'll just get in the video. Okay, here goes nothing. Oh my god. Yes. Yeah. Oh my god. Okay guys, I took 3 just to be sure. And I think we are definitely pregnant. I'm gonna be a mom. I'm gonna be a mom. We're gonna be parents. Oh my god. Oh my god, I'm so excited, finally! Oh, a year later. Okay, so Nick doesn't know yet. He gets off work tonight. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together, like, he got a package in the mail. I'm gonna wrap these in there and put them in there, and I'm gonna film him opening when he doesn't know it. Oh my god. I'm so like nervous, excited. So yeah, that's how we're gonna tell the hubby. He's here. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Hi. Ah, whoa, shit. Look at that. Blow up. Oh, geez. Oh, what the fuck? No way. Are you fucking serious? No. Seriously? Are you fucking kidding me? I'm fucking doing it. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Oh my god. Oh fuck. Oh fuck, I'm trying not to. Holy fuck. Are you fucking serious? Holy fuck.
It took 3.
Oh.
Because I was like...
Holy fuck. Yeah.
It's okay to cry.
Holy.
You gonna be a daddy?
Yeah. Woo! That means I gotta go get some New Balances. Some khaki shorts. This is gonna be awesome. Patting him. Good job, buddy.
Are you proud right now?
I am. Don't know what to do.
Well, how's it going, guys? It's been about 3 weeks since I found out I was pregnant. So how's it going? A lot of change to the body. I would say I'm not as lean as I was. Guys, let me just tell you, fatigue is real. I'm taking more naps, boobs, ouch. A lot of hurt with the boobs. Feeling amazing so far. I don't have morning sickness. I did for a little bit before I found out, but now it's just fatigue, ouchy boobs, and oh, I also noticed too, I have more little pimples popping up with the hormone stuff. Hi, little guy or girl. You can't wait for you to start showing. Right. I've gone 3 weeks now. I've gone to the gym, my normal 5 days a week. So this is a super exciting time. I'm excited. I'm ready for this new journey. So I hope you guys are too. We are headed to our very first appointment. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Excited.
Excited.
You.
Excited. I got like butterflies, anxious butterflies right now. Here we go. There's my brother.
I think you're 8 weeks, 6 days, right?
Yeah.
Okay, this is your baby. This is a little heartbeat, right? Let's see. Right there. You see that flicker?
Yeah.
Give it a couple of weeks, it'll be so much more to see, but everything looks good.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, looks good. Look at that rapid little heartbeat in there.
Oh, that's so crazy. How's that, Daddy?
Yeah.
Where to begin? So this chapter does not have a happy ending. Got my tissue ready. I'm like the ugliest crier. My vein pops out my forehead. I get super red and flushed. As I said, this chapter does not have a happy ending. And I say chapter because it's not the end of our story. You never plan on failure. You never plan on bad things happening. We always try to move forward in life with, you know, the best intentions and outlook, being optimistic with situations. So I want to share my story with you guys because I know how common this is. So just want to forewarn you guys, just warning before you watch the rest of this video. It does get pretty graphic and pretty detailed, but it's something that I want to share my story. And so if you can't handle this kind of stuff, I would not keep watching, but if you want to keep watching, here is my story. After our appointment, everything looked great, wonderful. Nothing showed up abnormal or any issues on with the ultrasound and the doctor's appointment. But that evening, I actually started spotting. It was very light. Spotting was fairly normal for pregnancies. It happens with a lot of women. So that Wednesday, you know, spotting was still there, but that was it. Nothing else. So by Thursday, when the spotting had not kind of ceased or let up, I called my midwife, and you know, I expressed my concern, and she started asking me a bunch of questions, and I had not had any symptoms at all in terms of cramping, pain, of a miscarriage symptom. The spotting hadn't progressed worse. It hadn't gotten any more bloody. After this conversation, you know, my midwife, she says, well, you can come in, you can get an ultrasound, we can check everything, or you can just kind of give it a couple days and see where things go, and then we can, you know, follow up after the weekend and do an ultrasound. And so I was like, well, you know what, I was thinking optimistic. I'm like, you know what, no signs, no symptoms, everything's going well so far. We just had a great appointment, so I'll just give it a few days, keep an eye on it, we'll go from there. So we had agreed on that. And then come Friday, we were supposed to go camping that weekend, and turns out all camping spots were booked up. So we decided to kind of go primal and we took our boat and we went to an island in the middle of the lake, which we can camp on, but you know, thinking we went to this middle of the lake where there is no easy access to amenities or anything like that. I mean, a straight island. We went out and I noticed that the bleeding had progressed a little bit to the point where I had to use a tampon. And again, I'm just feeling optimistic. I'm like, you know what, this will subside, this will get better. And I kept having those hopes that it will get better. And of course I communicated with Nick what was going on, and he's like the same thing, trying to be more hopeful, but he's also a worrier and overthinker. And so it was kind of like, we were like, well, great, now this is something we have to think about through the weekend. But we're gonna try to have the best time and enjoy our time that we could. Throughout the day, we were fishing, we were on the boat, and I started noticing, like I just felt crampy, like more like gas crampy. That's the best way to explain it. I've had it before, we all get that. But as we progressed into the evening, the cramping actually got worse. And then I started worrying, and we had friends with us, but I kept it to myself. I didn't say anything. I kind of just dealt with it, thinking, okay, this will subside, this will go away, it's just bloating, you know, and I didn't want to think of the worst. And that's when it got real, because the cramping, it started getting more intense, and it was kind of coming in waves. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of a coincidence here that it subsides and then it comes on strong, and each time it kind of gets a little bit more intense. So I started timing it on my phone, and it was literally every 3 minutes. Basically, contractions. So they just kept coming and getting stronger. It was getting kind of dark at this point, and like the sun goes down at like 9 and 9:30ish. So we were out there till about that time, and then we got back to our little island in our camping spot. And after everybody had gotten off the boat, I told Nick, I was like, I sat down and I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain right now. And I knew something wasn't right. You know, I had to pee, and I went up into the woods, you know, and I had my phone with me, and when I peed, you know, I was kind of watching, and I had a lot of blood just pour out of me. And I was like, okay, this is really not good. And I go back to the boat and I lay down. We were supposed to sleep in hammocks, and at that point I was like, I just got onto one of our seats in our boat and laid down, and Nick, you know, kind of helped me, got my sleeping bag and got my pillow, and I just said, you know, I'm in a lot of pain, and there's a lot of blood, and I didn't have any other tampons or anything, so I literally had to roll up toilet paper and just keep it in there. And so, you know, of course Nick is concerned, like, what do we do? We're so far away from everything. And at this point it was 11 o'clock at night, and we all kind of started getting ready for bed. And so I ended up calling and talking to one of the midwives, and at this point it's like we could go to the ER, but she had suspected that it was a miscarriage, and you know, when you have a miscarriage, there's nothing you can do to stop it. So it was kind of like, at that point, there's not much we could do that night, and so we kind of were like, well, we'll leave tomorrow morning, and we'll end up going to the office, and we'll do an ultrasound and like check up on everything. And everybody kind of went to bed, and as the night progressed on, it got really bad. It was pretty traumatizing. There's not much anybody can do. You kind of just, you have to go through it. It almost feels like your insides kind of just cripple. When it came on, I'm pretty strong. I felt it all the way through my legs to my feet. I had to really channel in on my breathing through those, because they would last about 60 seconds or so, and then they would subside, but they did start getting shorter, you know, and I guess it was like we were going into labor, but I was up until about 4 o'clock in the morning, because it lasted a good 7 hours, and every time I go pee into the woods again, I just see blood pouring out of me. I knew where it was, what was happening. Part of you doesn't want to believe that that's happening, because you know that's not going to end well, going through that. I just did the best I can, just breathe through the worst part of it, and then at one point, so this is going to be graphic, so if you don't want to hear this part, I would stop now, but I went back up into the woods again, you know, and at this point I peed again, and it was like a large clump just came out of me. It was probably about the size of my palm, and I saw it and I was just like, oh my god, you know, and everybody's asleep. This is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, is that what I think it is? I was too traumatized and just in shock to do anything, so I put it in a toilet paper, kind of wrapped it up, and I was like, I don't know if this is something I should take with me to the doctor or what I should do. I've never experienced this before, so I went back to the bed, and you know, Nick actually slept on the ground of the boat right next to me the whole night. The most uncomfortable spot to be. But he wanted to be right next to me and make sure I was okay. I don't know what I would do without that man. He has been so supportive through this whole thing. Oh, bless his heart. I went back to bed, and that's when all pain, everything just subsided at this point. And so I was thinking, well, this is it. This happened. Okay, and I finally was able to fall asleep. Probably woke up only a few hours later, which ended up being like 7 o'clock in the morning. There was quite a bit of blood that I did bleed through my sweats, my sleeping bag. I had a little bit of cramping, but it just kind of again subsided by this point, and I didn't know what to say. I didn't know what to think. I was kind of in shock. What just happened? Like, this just happened. You know, everybody was kind of doing their thing, and I took that chunk, because I was at this point, I felt I need to know. Like, I need to know if that is the fetus, that is the baby. So, of course, again, another gory graphic part. If you don't want to hear this, I actually broke it apart and kind of looked into it, and there was no fetus. It was just more like a shell of like tissue per se, and it just was bloody, but there was no fetus. So part of me was thinking, well, maybe something else was going on. Maybe there is still a baby there. Maybe this is something separate and something that we need to get to the doctor to figure out what's going on. And we packed up everything right away, and we go out and we get in our vehicle, and we were about an hour away from home, so we drove home and took showers and kind of got ready and to go meet the midwife. And so we get to the office, and we do an ultrasound, and there was, of course, no baby. So when she said there was no baby, I'm just sitting here thinking, was it in there, or did I miss it? And that was kind of really sad because part of me wanted to see it, say goodbye. Like a closure, I guess the best way to say. So I had a good cry sitting in the office, you know, and Nick too, and you know, the midwife assured me, she's like, do not think this is your fault, because it is not. And you know, we talked some more, and I 100% believe in that it's not my fault. Miscarriages are very common. She said like every 1 in 4 pregnancies there's a miscarriage. So I think almost every one of my girlfriends that have had kids have had a miscarriage. Everyone's at least had 1, 2, 3. So it's not uncommon, but it's still just as heartbreaking and painful for you when you experience it. And I know how healthy I am, and you know, I did everything right. I did everything the best that I could. This baby was just not meant to be. Oh, we also did a blood test to find out what my blood type was, because she explained to me sometimes what happens, especially with these miscarriages. If you're O negative and if you have an A positive pregnancy, your body will attack that thinking it's a foreign body. And if that was the case, you would have to get a shot to help to avoid your body attacking a future pregnancy. So we did the blood test and I came back A positive. So we were good with that. Nick is A positive as well, so we didn't have to do the shot. So at this point, the doctor said that we'll just pay attention with the bleeding. She saw some still blood in my uterus that will probably be coming out over that evening or the next couple days. So at this point I have to use tampons because it was like a period. And then we just needed to keep an eye on it. If it got worse, I needed to go back in. We needed to do some sort of procedures. And if not, you know, we can carry on with life again. And so we came home and it was just very sad. Just very sad. And, you know, we were exhausted and we kind of just didn't say much. We just ended up watching some movies. The bleeding seemed to have had stopped, so I was thinking, oh, I didn't need one. And I like to walk around my house naked. And I just felt comfortable just not having anything on, and it was freeing in a way, and it was just a comforting thing not to be restricted in clothes. So I kind of just, yeah, I was naked. I was in the kitchen and I was making something, and then I kind of felt like, uh-oh, I think blood was coming out. So I grabbed a paper towel to wipe, you know, and there wasn't a whole lot of blood at all. So I was like, oh, that's okay. So something had flown onto the floor, and I was like, oh, what was that? You know, and I looked a little bit closer, and it was just like a little round red sack, like about this big. And I was like, oh my God, I think I know what that is. So of course I picked it up, and sure enough, it was the fetus. I opened it up, and sure enough, there it was. And it was only like the size of my thumbnail. But part of me was super grateful that I passed the fetus at home, and it wasn't in a toilet or in the woods where I never would have known or I would have ever seen it. So I was able to kind of process that and take it in. And I ended up burying it in my garden and kind of said loving words and my goodbyes. And so it was a form of closure for me. My body literally just flushed out and went right back to normal. The body is an amazing thing of what it does. So in terms physically, I pretty much went back to normal. Emotionally, obviously that takes more time. This is not the end of the world, not the end of life. It's just heartbreaking and it is sad. It's as soon as you know you're pregnant and it's something that you want and that you look forward to, you're connected to that baby. You're connected. I don't care how little it is to how big, you're connected emotionally, physically. So you feel like you lose a part of yourself. Definitely loss. And so that's what it felt like. And I can't even explain the sadness that you feel about it. I know a lot of you who have gone through this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I had to remind myself, I'm like, well, I can, and it's gonna be okay. Go back to life. And so that was kind of like, I had to really push and dig deep to motivate myself to keep me moving forward. Just started incorporating everything again, making sure I was working out. That's the biggest thing. Working out is my therapy and it has helped me so much. Because I take a lot of my emotions out in my workouts. And it's always been there for me. So getting back to that, hiking, camping, I mean, you name it, just living back to life again. And that's the biggest thing, is you don't want to feed into that guilt. You don't want to live with that guilt and keep living with it, because it'll destroy you. It'll destroy everything around you. And it'll consume you to the point where you'll go into depression. And I've been in depression multiple times in my life, some really extreme times, and I have always resorted back to the tools that I have learned and I have acquired over the years of what's helped me get through it. And the biggest thing was my workouts and making sure I eat, especially when I lose my appetite, just staying consistent, because it will get better. Because I stayed consistent with healthy, uplifting things. I didn't stop them. And that's the thing too, is you have to let yourself grieve too. So I didn't stop things, but I would have moments I would let myself grieve. I would let myself feel. I'd let myself cry. I would sit and talk with my husband. He would hold me sometimes and just keep kissing me while I'd be crying in his arms, and we'd talk about it. You have to talk about it, and you have to grieve, but it's not letting that consume your life and just stopping everything. So there's a time and place for it, The time was right to talk about it with certain people. It would just happen. It would just flow and I'd talk about it. And then there's times that I wouldn't. So you make that discernment, because that's your choice. But it is good to also let it out, not completely bury it. So there's a balance. And what has helped me has just knowing that it's just that baby was not meant to be, and our baby is waiting for us, and our baby will come to us. I know a lot of my friends who've had miscarriages and now they have 4 kids, healthy, beautiful babies, children. Me and Nick together, we've both agreed and we've communicated so many times that this is only going to make us stronger. We're going to overcome this, and we're going to try again. And we are going to have a baby. We're going to have a healthy baby. We are. And we know that. So the biggest thing is not keeping yourself in the past and keeping yourself in that moment and staying attached to that of what happened and not letting it go. You have to understand it. You have to accept it and know it's going to be okay. You're going to be okay, and you're going to be stronger. And you have to work through the healing process. You have to keep moving forward. You're not forgetting about it. You're not disregarding that it happened. You do have to feel. You do have to cry. But you also have to keep moving forward. So I know that I've been through so much in my life. These things that I've experienced and have overcome. And I know this will be... they all have prepared me for this moment. I wanted to share my story because it is such a real thing. And it happens so much to a lot of women. I feel a lot of women don't talk about it because it is very emotionally upsetting. It's very sensitive. Unless you've experienced it physically yourself, it's really hard to relate. There is no reason to blame yourself. And you have to remind yourself that. And that's the biggest thing for me daily. Because sometimes my mind will wander and I'll be like, well, if I did this or if I didn't do that, and I'm like, no, like, you can't blame yourself because you're living in the past and you're staying in that moment, and you're never going to fully be able to heal and move forward when you're keeping yourself there. And I know we're going to have our time. And I know we're going to get pregnant again, and I know we're going to have a beautiful, healthy baby. And in order to be there fully for your future, you have to let go of the past, and it takes time. It's a process. As long as you keep working through that process, it's going to take you that one step forward. And I know that already since it happened to today, how I feel, you know, and everybody's time is different. Some people are longer depending on what you went through, depending on what you were already dealing with, but we just have to keep moving forward. This is my story, and this is not the end of my story. It's just another chapter in my book, and now mine and my husband's book, because we're together now. We're a unit, we're a team. I mean, we both have told each other over and over and over again, we wouldn't want to experience this with anyone else. And we're just so grateful that we have each other. And this is definitely something that has brought us closer, and it's gonna make us stronger. You guys have been a part of my journey for so long. So much has happened since I have done YouTube and Instagram. So much has happened, and most of you have been there through all of it. And I'm hoping that my story, me coming out with my experiences and my story, that it might help someone else. It might help somebody maybe currently experiencing the same thing, who's been through it, who might be struggling, or something that maybe somebody can refer to in the future when they need it. Again, I just want to thank you all for just your continued support, even taking my break from YouTube, which was much needed, and it was actually came at the good time because of what the events that had happened, and it gave me that time to be able to have to myself, because especially in the social media world, where it's if you don't do that, it's like you have to still be in the face of the public and put that mask on. And I've done that several times, and this was not something I could have that mask on for. And I didn't want to. I wanted to grieve, and I wanted to get through the hardest part right in the beginning. Thank you so much for, again, the support and the love that you've shown me all these years, and how long you have been a part of my journey. Thank you guys for watching today, and at some point I'll be back to filming some more again for you guys. Alright, you guys, thanks for watching. And I will see you guys very soon.